Today is July 7th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, Daily Reflections, and 24 Hours a Day. Today out of the Big Book, we are going to be reading The Doctor's Opinion, the top of page 31. Out of the 12 and 12, we're going to read Step 2, a little bit more of that on page 27. And of course, we're going to read the July 7th editions of the Daily Reflections, 24 Hours a Day. So with all that, hope you're doing well today, my friends. Life is good over here. I have a giant cup of coffee in my new Spider-Man cup that I got on my birthday. Yeah, I'm such a dork. I've got actually the same exact Spider-Man cup at my job. I just wanted one for the job and one for the house. But anyways, we've been given a brand new set of 24 hours. It's always a blessing to wake up and be sober. And let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, as you recall from yesterday's reading, we talked about the physical craving, the physical allergy, and the obsession of the mind. Today we're going to build on that idea on the top of page 31. What is the solution? Perhaps I can best answer this by relating one of my experiences. About 1 year prior to this experience, a man was brought in to be treated for chronic alcoholism. He had but partially recovered from a gastric hemorrhage and seemed to be the case of pathological mental deterioration. He had lost everything worthwhile in life and was only living, one might say, to drink. He frankly admitted and believed that for him there was no hope. Following the elimination of alcohol, there was found to be no permanent brain injury. He accepted the plan outlined in this book, and 1 year later, he called to see me and I experienced a very strange sensation. I knew the man by name and partly recognized his features, but there all resemblance ended. From a trembling, despairing, nervous wreck had emerged a man brimming over with self-reliance and contentment. I talked with him for some time, but was not able to bring myself to feel that I had known him before. To me, he was a stranger. And so he left me. A long time has passed, with no return to alcohol. All right, so if you recall from yesterday's reading in the 12 and 12, we're on step 2, which says, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And we're in this kind of hypothetical conversation between a sponsor and a sponsee. And the sponsor has really kind of said, look, just keep an open mind. He says it a couple times on page 26. So we're going to read page 27 today. Then I woke up. I had to admit that AA showed results, prodigious results. I saw that my attitude regarding these had been anything but scientific. It wasn't AA that had the closed mind. It was me. The minute I stopped arguing, I could begin to see and feel. Right there, step 2 gently and very gradually began to infiltrate my life. I can't say upon what occasion or upon what day I came to believe in a power greater than myself, but I certainly have that belief now. To acquire it, I had only to stop fighting and practice the rest of AA's program as enthusiastically as I could. This is only one man's opinion based on his own experience, of course. I must quickly assure you that AAs tread innumerable paths in their quest for faith. If you don't care for the one I've suggested, you'll be sure to discover one that suits you, if only you look and listen. Many a man like you has begun to solve the problem by the method of substitution. You can, if you wish, make AA itself your higher power. Here's a very large group of people who have solved their alcohol problem. In this respect, they are certainly a power greater than you, who have not even come close to a solution. Surely you can have faith in them. Even this minimum of faith will be enough. You will find many members who have crossed the threshold just this way. All of them will tell you that, once across, their faith has broadened and deepened. Relieved of the alcohol obsession, their lives unaccountably transformed, and they came to believe in a higher power, and most of them began to talk of God. Daily reflection, July 7th. And letting go of it. Primarily fear that we would lose something we already possessed or would fail to get something we demanded. Living upon a basis of unsatisfied demands, we were in a state of continual disturbance and frustration. Therefore, no peace was to be had unless we could find a means of reducing these demands. The difference between a demand and a simple request is plain to anyone. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 76. Peace is possible for me only when I let go of expectations. When I'm trapped in thoughts about what I want and what should be coming to me, I'm in a state of fear or anxious anticipation, and this is not conducive to emotional sobriety. I must surrender over and over to the reality of my dependence on God, for then I find peace, gratitude, and spiritual security. And finally, 24 hours a day, July 7th. AA thought for the day. We become hopelessly sick people, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. The power that controlled us was greater than ourselves. Many drinkers have said, I haven't gone that far. I hadn't lost my job on account of drink. I still had my family. I managed to keep out of jail. True, I took too much sometimes, and I guess I managed to make quite an ass of myself when I did. But I still thought I could control my drinking. I didn't really believe that I was an alcoholic. If I was one of these, have I fully changed my mind? Meditation for the day. Painful as the present time may be, you will one day see the reason for it. You will see that it was not only testing, but also a preparation for the life work which you are to do. Have faith that your prayers and aspirations will someday be answered in a way that perhaps seems painful to you, but is the only right way. Selfishness and pride often make us want things that are not good for us. They need to be burned out of our natures. We must be rid of the blocks which are holding us back before we can expect our prayers to be answered. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be willing to go through a time of testing. I pray that I must trust God for the outcome. Okay, so the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions in the core text today, they kind of have some similar themes talking about a complete transformation. So, of course, Dr. Silkworth meets this fellow that is completely different a year later. For me, I guess in the sense that the changes are so gradual that we don't notice. Other people who might not have seen us in a while, they notice. Like, wow, you're a lot happier. You seem to be really at peace right now. My wife has told me a few times, hey, you don't seem to be as stressed out about that as you used to be. And then I'll think, oh, yeah, you're right. I feel pretty good about things right now. Hey, good point. And all glory to my higher power. And that goes back to page 28 here. Their lives unaccountably transformed. They came to believe in a higher power, and most of them began to talk of God. These are people who were very much against the idea of God in the first place. But going back to 26, the sponsor's talking to a sponsor, the sponsor's talking to a sponsee and says, hey, just keep an open mind. Don't cut your mind off, your imagination off from a belief in a power greater than yourself. Even at bare minimum, if it's the group, that's something. When I walk into a room full of sober alcoholics, that is amazing. That's a miracle to me. They knew a whole lot more than I did when I first came in, so I tried to really listen to what they had to say, instead of thinking that I have all the answers. And that has proven to really help me. I've heard this old cliche, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Which makes me wonder, why eat an elephant? I mean, aren't they endangered? But anyway, the idea behind it is, we just keep coming back. We learn as we go, one step at a time. And I firmly believe that these steps are in order for a reason. That's enough of my rambling. That's all I've got. Hope you all have a great day. As always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect or denomination. I'm just a guy, and I'm grateful that you're here. And if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.